Now that you're so close and that you've accomplished so much, you guys have done so many things already to this point, is just getting to the Super Bowl, is that enough to define a successful season, or do you think you have to win it now?
No, I mean, listen, everything's about this game right now. And I've said it before, I've been to the Super Bowl and I've lost it and it stinks. So it's about this week. We got to find a way to win this game this week.
Hard to keep the players focused on that, knowing that they're just 2 games away, or do you think you drill that into them, that it's just the next step?
Yeah, I think it's actually, I don't think that's hard at all. I think they understand what's at stake. I know they watched these games this weekend. They watched that game last night. This is and inevitably, I mean, I showed the team really every game, just different situations that popped up, a snapshot of what happened. And you just look at, what could have cost the team, whether it's a drop here, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a situation, whatever it is, and they're littered all through, the week, and that's what the playoffs are, is, man, that one extra play, just doing your job in the heat of the moment, and if you do that, you give yourself the best odds. If not, that the other team's going. And so we've got a really good opponent here. They've got a dynamic quarterback. They're playing good offense, good defense, really good coaching, and we got a work cut out for us. That's what we've got.
It takes to turn around a franchise. It took you about 2 years to kind of get this thing going, or a year and a half to get this thing really going in the right direction. What's your level of respect for what they've done over there in Washington with Quinn in just one season?
I got a lot of respect for Dan Quinn. I've known Dan from afar. I know him, but it's not like we hang out on a daily basis or anything or talk like that. But I've known him for a while, and certainly when he was in Atlanta, having to play him twice a year, I mean, those guys, you gain a high level of respect for what they do. And Joe Witt, the defensive coordinator, I mean, those guys were all there. And so inevitably, his teams are always going to be competitive, and they're going to be ready to go, and they're going to try to do things the right way. So I've got a lot of respect for what he's done, and I'm not surprised that they're where they're at. Just knowing, kind of the way he builds things, the way his attitude is, and so it's impressive.
All right, we're going to go over the rest of that Dan Campbell press conference. We're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings dropping the ball, the Lions being the lone NFC North team that is left on this episode of the Lion Villain Report with your boy Russell Wayne. Stay tuned.
The lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lion Villain Report. I'm your host, Russell Wayne, and I am going to be hanging out with you for the next hour, talking some Lions football and whatnot. We are broadcasting live right now into the Lion Villain Squad Facebook page right there. Thank you to all the 60,000 followers right there where they've been watching the Detroit Lions. They be winning, and the ladies are getting so excited coming over to the apartment, watching the game. Gonna have them over on Saturday night with a nice warm bottle of Cavassier And I'm gonna get more excited before they're gonna be. I mean, they be happy when they be winning and stuff like that. Broadcasting live into the Lion Villain Squad YouTube page, as well as the Detroit Lions News Podcast Facebook page, as well as the NFL Huddle on Roku. Yes, we are on Roku. And this episode of The Villain Report is brought to you by NFL Shop. Get your Detroit Lions swag, the championship swag. Get some of that championship swag by scanning that QR code from our affiliate marketing partners at NFL Shop. It's faith, family, and then football on this program. You know, we have all these rival fans out there. You know, we'll make fun of you a little bit today, Viking fans and Packer fans, but I still love you. You've been making fun of me for years, and now it's our turn. But it is faith, family, then football, because I have it in that order. I can still love you as a person. We use football, create memories, spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. And you can support the UDFA, the undrafted free agent of sports podcasting. Yes, right here. That is the villain. That is when we may not have the best podcast, but we're going to keep grinding until we are the best. The Tom Kennedy. You can't unalive Tom Kennedy. He will keep coming back. He will keep coming back and back and back and back. Hey, and if you want to partner with the villain, let's say you own a business in Michigan and you like the Detroit Lions, or you love the Detroit Lions, you want to partner with us, you want to support our program, get a hold of Main Event Mike, 810-620-2167, and find out how you can harness the power of the villain and be guilty by association. So here we are, a couple days away from the division playoffs, the divisional round. The Lions earned their spot. They earned their spot with the bye, and they are treating it as such. And before we get into that, let's say hello to everybody that is in the comments, starting from the beginning. We got Davey in the house.
You like that?
We got Jay Smooth in the house.
You like that?
We got the Central Scrutinizer
You like that?
up in the house. Mark's in the house. Henry Gray's in the house.
Say hello to my little friend.
Ubis Memes up in the house. What's
You
up,
like
girl?
that?
I still owe you that phone call. I am sorry. I've been so busy. And these Lions have been doing so well. But we're going to make a plan with our supervillains during this offseason. And we're going to figure some things out. And how we're going to move forward with what we're doing here at the Villain Squad. And I appreciate all of your help, Elise Memes. You go check out her stuff. We feature some of the stuff on our page, but she has her own page too. Make sure you go give Elise Memes a follow. Rob Newsom up in the
You
house.
like that?
What's up? What's up? What's up to Tyler and Paul?
You like that? Say hello to my little friend.
Chad's up in the house. What's
Say
up?
hello to my
To
little
my
friend.
favorite Bigfoot hunter, Mark G, Jason Smith, Rosalind. Good morning, Gun Guy. Good morning, Timothy.
Say hello to my little friend.
He says Virginia's in the house. Let's go. Trendiest. So, we want to talk a little bit about this game last night, right? Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. And the Vikings just didn't show up, man. I don't even know what's going on here. You know, you wanna like this Viking team, but are they frauds? First of all, before we get into any of all of that stuff, and I do want to get into the rest of this Dan Campbell press conference too, but I know that we had a lot of trash talking going on in here, and then the Lions, I kept on just listening to all these guys push the goalpost. And before you do push the goalpost to the obvious spot, and the obvious spot is, I understand this, that if the Lions don't get it done in the Super Bowl, that all this regular season hoopla is for naught. It doesn't matter unless they get the Lombardi. We understand that. But for the time being, right here and right now, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Because
You've had enough of that shit.
you got swept. We swept the entire division. Minnesota, you're trying to push the goalpost all the way back. We beat you once. Oh no, we'll get you next time. We beat you twice. Oh, you know what? Teams usually don't win 3 times in a row when they have to do it. Okay. But now you lost. Shut your mouth. You got swept. Packers, same thing. Tell me about your shiny 4 Lombardi trophies that you got in the last century. 2000, you got one in 2010. But I mean, think about that. That's 15 years ago. And a guy that you ran out of town, that you got traded, that you pretend like he's just a piece of garbage, and Aaron Rodgers, who brought that Super Bowl to you. Jordan Love isn't that good. He's a mid quarterback. You just paid really big money to a mid quarterback. He ain't that good. You got some good players, but you're not an upper echelon team anymore. It's okay. It's okay to admit that. And you're going to have to admit that, because here you are, done. You're done. One and done. Now, your biggest claim to fame that you're going to have, I understand. We got to play a game this weekend. The Lions could be one and done too. I understand that. But I got a game that we're talking about this weekend. We're actually playing in the divisional round. And that's something. And that's something. But we might as well go over this stuff, because that's what we should do. Let me make sure this is reading right. Looking in there. I'm going to put myself over here. Okay. So, Vikings going to the game. Sam Darnold goes 25 for 40. That's not very good. 245, 1 TD, 1 bad interception. Aaron Jones, 13 carries, 48 yards. Cam Akers, 5 carries for 39 yards in garbage time. Hawkinson had a nice touchdown catch. He had five grabs for 64 yards. They just weren't that good on offense. They just weren't that good. You go over to the Rams. Matt Stafford was 19 to 27 for 209 for all the Stafford slappies that are out there. Oh, Matt Stafford is so good. Look at what he did. They're pretty good. They ran the ball really well. And when you got these teams like this, the Lions are set up in the same way. You got to be able to run the football. And as a defense, you got to stop the run. I mean, I don't want to oversimplify things, but it does all begin and end with that. The Rams came in there, and you know what? They used the model. And here's the NFL. Here's the NFL in a nutshell. You got these professional coaches that watch all of this film. And, you know, sometimes it takes weeks to find a little kink in some of these armors, right? Minnesota had a nice little run right there. You know, offensively, they were able to get some things done. And the Lions defense exposed some weaknesses, definitely in the Vikings offensive game. And defensively, I mean, what I tell you last week, Stafford's got that quick release. That's the kryptonite to a team that likes to blitz a lot and send everybody. Quarterbacks like Stafford and Goff, I mean, that's what they do. Quick release. They know exactly where they're going with the football. That's kryptonite to a Vikings defense like that. So if the Vikings were always going to be a good team with a defense that could surprise some of the mid teams that are out there, but they were never going to beat a good team with that defense. I mean, you think that it's Dan Gamble because he goes for it a lot on fourth down. That's more of a gamble, blitzing all of them people all the time. You find a quarterback that's got a good quick release. You get offensive linemen that can just block it. Oh, I'm going to blitz all these people. We're going to get all this pressure. Well, not if we get it blocked. Oh, they sent 6. They got it blocked. Our running backs block. Our tight ends block. Everybody blocks. That's the kryptonite to a Viking defense that likes to blitz a lot. Brian Flores. Never going to get over that edge of mid. It's hard. But I want to get into some more of this press conference. But before I do that, let's get and see what we got everybody talking about in here. VA's in the house. Got any new people? Jason Smith up in the house. Gun guy. He's sitting in his house right now with his pants off. Sweep. We got the sweeps coming through. And Minnesota doesn't suck. I don't agree with this, Southwest. I don't think they suck. We control a little bit, though. I don't think that they suck, but they can shut their mouths.
You've had enough of that shit.
You can shut. You're not on the Lion level this year. You got swept. Even if the Lions lose in the first round, we swept the North. We're the best there for sure. And that's why Dan Campbell says that, like, look, we got to do this in increments, right? One step at a time. Obviously you have a goal of, winning the division is one of the goals on the way to winning the Super Bowl. You got this list of goals and they're just checking them off. One right after another, after another, after another. Unfortunately, it took all the way to week 18 because these damn sucky Minnesota Vikings just kept hanging around. But they did what they do. They surprised some people this year. Nobody expected them to win 14 games. If you want a silver lining, if you're sitting there in a bed of tears right now, Viking fan, if you're sitting there in a bed of tears, in your underwear with a hot pocket and a little Viking hat, all upset, just think that you had your quarterback injured. Everybody was injured. You even had a player pass away. You overcame all of that and still won 14 games. You're not tied to Sam Darnold, and you're probably happy about that.
It's my quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know if you want him like that, but it is what it is. But you got J.J. McCarthy. Maybe he's ready for the second year. Think he's ready to go. So there you go. There's a silver lining there for you, Viking fan. But we get to make fun of you because that's one of those typical things. Just like if the Lions lose in the first round, you guys get to, do the SOL bit. Get it? I get it. Let's do it. Accept the crow. Accept the crow. Like Adam. You got it. We accept all of the crow. They didn't show up. Minnesota didn't show up. Gun guy says, take your pants off. That's the crazy thing about podcasting is like you never know. You never know what's going down on here. What's happening? You know, I didn't expect to see any Viking fans in here. I do expect to see Bear and Packer fans in here just to make fun of the Vikings. But I'm done making fun of the Vikings. Let's get into this Dan Campbell press conference. Share it back. Get it in there. Let's listen to what Dan Campbell has to say, because I'm not smart. I don't ever say that I'm smart. I just listen to smart people. And I think Dan Campbell is very, very football smart. So here you go. Here's some Dan Campbell.
Once you get that bye week, but actually after going through it, how beneficial was that week? What did you take for having that time to kind of get away and come back to it?
Well, I think really just honestly, the best thing you get is that it's one less game. And so the odds say, well, that's one less game that you're playing to get to your ultimate goal. That's the benefit, really. And you could say, well, yeah, I mean, we've had some injuries, and so you get a couple of people that are able to feel better. But inevitably, it's not even that. I mean, there's plenty of teams that are playing. I mean, we did it twice last year. You know, we won back-to-back games without a bye. It's really the fact that your odds are better because you're playing one less game. So that's the advantage of the bye.
Your last 14 hours or so, just I'm sure you watched some of that game too.
So there it is right there. That is it. You know, I know like people love to make these little narratives about you know, the bye, they're gonna be rusty or this or that, but that is the best point that you could make on a bye. You got to play one less game, right? I mean, last year, if the Lions would have won 2 games and if they had the first round bye, guess what? They would have been in the Super Bowl. If you win 2 games, they win 2 playoff games this year like they did last year, they're going to be in a Super Bowl. Not the NFC Championship. That's the biggest advantage to it. And that's what he says, right? Obviously, we as the fans are like, yeah, we could get Angelone's going to be feeling better. Everybody, we might be able to get this guy back, or you know, you got 1 extra week to maybe get Hutchinson back. All these different things, but when it comes down to it, you got to play 1 less game. You got to play a Washington team that put a whole bunch of stuff on tape last week for us to watch. The most recent stuff, while we got to sit back and rest, we earned that bye. That's one of the things that he says, that we earned this bye. We earn it. And because we earned it, we're going to enjoy it. But we're not going to take it for granted. We went and worked really, really hard to get here, but we earned that bye. So it's not a disadvantage in any way. So that's what I heard right there.
How quickly do you start game planning for Washington? What's the rush been like? Sort of getting ready for
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, you're like anybody else. You're taking your notes as the game's going on, like last night, you know, and you're taking note as much as you can with what you can see on the TV. And then really it's been, I mean, full force today. You know, you get in early and you start going. I had stuff with me at home, so yeah, I mean, you go, but it's like anything else. We're going to have plenty of time to game plan and get a really good feel of who this opponent is to put a good plan in. Say it again. No, I did not get in early. I started early, but I did not get here. I had plenty of coaches here.
that, last year was, I'm not going to say surprise, but I mean, you guys kind of arrived. I mean, your announcement, you probably exceeded a lot of expectations. This year, the expectations were huge, and you delivered. You're the number 1 seed. Do you feel a difference as far as what is expected of you and your team now?
No, I don't. Like, see, you put that into words like, no, I don't think about, man, we're the 1 seed, so if if you guys don't succeed, then, I never think like that. I don't know. To me, I look at it as like, I know who we are. I know what we're about. I know how we have to prepare. I respect the opponent. And now it's time to go to work. That's how I look at it. I don't look at anything else. I don't think of what if it doesn't. What if the what ifs, like, fuck, man, I couldn't sleep at night if I lived that way. There's no freaking way. So no, I don't think of that. We're the 1 seed. We earned the 1 seed. We got a good opponent coming in, and we're going to be ready to play. That's how I look at it.
That is awesome. You listen, this is why I love Dan Campbell so much. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And when you got a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, that, the F-bomb slips out, right? And you know what? We're on the internet, so I don't care if it slips out every once in a while. If it's coming from a place of emotion like that, but it's like, just like I was talking about earlier, that's like they earned this spot, right? You have a really, really early bye, and I know that he was back in the room, in the back room, talking about, look, we got this early bye. We can go earn another bye going into the playoffs. We can earn the rest. And they went out and they did it. And I know that there's some sort of, pride that goes along with that. They go through and earn that spot. They didn't slide into this spot. They overcame a whole bunch of IR stuff. I know everybody else crying about, oh, this guy, that guy's injured. We had more injuries than anybody in the league. And now we're going into the playoffs nice and healthy. Yeah, it would be a complete disappointment if we don't win. I see Steven here. What's going on, Steve? Don't make ref excuses. That play was debatable where it was. They're not taking points off the board. Jordan Love wasn't going to win that game against that defense. He wasn't doing anything against that defense. If you're going to blame something, blame the fact that you had no offense. And cry me a river about all of the injuries, but don't do the referee thing. Don't do the referee thing. I know how that was out in here. You get crucified in these groups. You start talking about the referees. It just doesn't do any good. I mean, even if I were to say, okay, that might have been a bad call, what good is that? What good does that do? The bottom line is, like, okay, yeah, you just hit it. They just didn't come to play. You're going to beat it. If anything, if that game showed anything, Steve, it was that the Philadelphia Eagles are definitely beatable. They didn't play all that great in that game either. If they bring that weak shit to Ford Field, we're going to stomp them on the way to the Super Bowl. This Lions team is poised to win. The Lions don't feel like they're outmatched by anybody. And I can sense it. Dan Campbell's going to have these guys ready. Come on, Dan, talk about it.
Do you feel it from the outside, though? Do you feel just the extra attention being put on you, the demands, all that stuff?
No, we've had attention for 4 years here. I mean, there's been more stuff that's been made out, that's been built one way. We've been so good. We've been so bad. We're a laughing stock. Now we're great. And it's just been this roller coaster of up and downs. And it's the next week of it. You know what I mean? And so this is nothing new that we're in right now. This is nothing new for me, for the coaches, for the players. We're in the middle of the circus, man, and it's about time to perform. That's the world we're in.
Jay Daniels obviously has been a big part of their turnaround. Can you just talk about the challenge he presents at quarterback?
He is dangerous. He's dangerous. He poses a major threat. He does not play the position like a rookie quarterback. He's composed. He understands how to progress. He sees the field well. He can buy time with his legs. He's a dangerous runner. He's smart. He's smart. You can tell he understands how to run that offense, what they're asking him to do. And then he's got weapons. He's got weapons around him. I mean, his receiver's pretty dang good. 17's a hell of a player, you know. He's got a good back. He's got more than one receiver. Ertz at tight end. I mean, they've got weapons. The whole line plays hard. But he's a difference maker.
This is a one opponent that you hadn't faced, that you could have faced, that you hadn't faced already. Does that make you a little leery of the unknown? I mean, you obviously can see them now, but he's dynamic, but he's also a rookie. How much does the unknown affect?
No, I don't. No, I think there's a level of excitement. You know, part of it is you see another team you face twice, let's say, right? You know each other. You know them. They know you. It's different level of game planning because you're into that third level of chess, you know. Whereas the opponent you haven't faced yet, like that's exciting too because you don't really entirely know them. They don't entirely know you. You just know each other from afar. And so now you kind of start from scratch. That's pretty exciting too, you know. So I just think either way you go, it's pretty cool and it's fun. And so I think I like it because it's fresh for this week. I do like the newness of it.
I just wanted to ask you how the bye week impacted the overall health of the team and really in relation to how Arnold and Zeitler are trending.
Well, we didn't have any injuries over these last 3 days, so I think we're okay. I'll know more tomorrow. You know, I'll know more tomorrow as where everybody's at. But yeah, I can't give you a straight up answer off of 3 days off. Really, I mean, I just know everybody treatment has gone well, and we'll see.
Share behind the scenes of you celebrating the division. Ran over to Montgomery's locker. That was part of the video that we got to see. To put 5 back in that game plan after the outlook wasn't initially so great, what's that going to mean to you as the head coach for this team?
It'll mean a lot. 5's a big part of us. He's a huge part of us, you know, and to me, he's a bell cow. He's somebody that he's a tone setter. You know, he's a catalyst, so there's a place for him. There's a place for him here. So there'll be a place for him in this game. So it's going to be good to get him back.
Going back to Daniels for a sec. Usually when a young quarterback...
It's that smile. It's that smile. When you look at Dan Campbell and you got that smile, I'm sorry. When I look at it, when I see that little devilish smile that he throws in there, I have a feeling that David Montgomery may do something against this 30th ranked rush defense. Did you see that devilish smile? Let me go back there just a teeny bit. I gotta see it. Right there.
There'll be a place for him in this game. So it's going to be good to get him back.
Going back to Daniels for a sec. Usually when a young quarterback is so quick...
It'll mean a lot. 5's a big part of us. He's a huge part of us, you know, and to me, he's a bell cow. He's somebody that he's a tone setter. You know, he's a catalyst, so there's a place for him.
That one right there. You see that smile? You see that? He's a tone setter. David Montgomery is a tone setter. Do you think they're going to use him? Look at that face. You think they're going to use David Montgomery against this 30th ranked rush defense? Look at that face. I think so.
There's a place for him here. So there'll be a place for him in this game. So it's going to be good to get him back.
Going back to Daniels for a sec. Usually when a young quarterback is so quick to use their feet, it's a lack of confidence in reading in their arm. And that's not the case with him. Is there anybody stylistically you could think of like that kind of matches his skill set?
That's tough to say. Is a rookie, because that's really what you're trying to compare him to, right? Is really a rookie of who's, I can't. I mean, that's like that, that's been as composed as he is and really, been able to function at such a high level without the, the mistakes or things like that. He's doing a really good job. I mean, I know they've got to be happy over there with how he's progressed every week, just gotten better and better.
When they have that RPO element, I mean, how valuable is a guy like Alex to just kind of help get the defense right and decipher a lot of that stuff? Yeah,
Alex is always going to help. Getting him back, I mean, just having him back the other day was, paid huge dividends. It was one of the reasons that we did well, that we played a really good game defensively. He's certainly one of those reasons. So to get him back, the production he brings, the athlete, but then just the, what he brings mentally, because he understands the game well. He studies. He'll know this offense. He'll know what they're trying to do, and he can kind of help everybody out around him. So yeah, it helps having him.
Fourth down aggressiveness paid off in a big way last night. Curious if you see any similarities in the way you guys like to attack and just what makes them so successful on fourth down.
I mean, I don't know. And look, I haven't been able to watch every game yet. I haven't got into all that. So I've got to do my own. I understand what the percentages are. I know they went for it, 4 or 5 times last night. But I need to look at what the situations are when he does that, and is this truly their MO? How much of it is run, pass, blah, 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 blah. But I know he wants to be a little bit more aggressive, and they have a quarterback that is mobile and gives you a run-pass option. So, I don't know. I can't say that it's like us or not like us, but I know they have it, they use it, and it's helped them. It's helped them win games.
Lions defense over the years has struggled against.
Now there it is right there. All the criticism that Dan Campbell will get, because he's probably going to be living and dying with this whole moniker of being the aggressive coach, Dan Campbell, right? But if you look across the league now, you see these other NFL teams that are starting to do a little bit of the copycatting. They criticize it out of one side of their mouth, but then they go and they play the percentages when it matters. So they're all doing it. Everybody is doing it. Dan Campbell was just doing it a lot, and it was paying dividends. But now all of these other teams are starting to get out of their shells. And I don't know if it's a good thing for them. I think that it becomes more okay that the Lions would go for it more because they go for it a lot. Their guys are out there and their blood pressure doesn't go up as much. Feeling it. They're feeling it. Like, it doesn't go up as much as it does for the other team. And that's why I think they're able to execute that at a higher level, because they have more experience at it. And now you got these teams that don't have as much experience in it. Well, look, Dan Campbell's doing it, and it's working. But they don't have the build-up for it. Their guys don't have the experience to go out there in that war situation and a momentum changing. It's like you're forcing a momentum changing play. You're putting that into your control. And I think that's part of why Dan Campbell does it. There's 4 or 5 real game-changing plays that happen in a game that really change the momentum and the volleying back and forth. You do some stuff, I do some stuff, and we're just both going, but there's 4 or 5 plays that have that high stakes involved. And Dan Campbell when he goes for it on fourth down, he's controlling that narrative. Hey, I'm going to build this high stakes moment. I'm in control of this moment. As a matter of fact, I'm deciding to put one right here, fourth down. You either stop me from getting 7 or I get a touchdown. We ain't taking the threes. And he's forcing that issue. And his guys have more experience than their guys. And I think that that's where it comes from. He's building that clutch gene into all of the players. Whether you like that he goes for it a lot on fourth down or not, those plays end up becoming high energy plays. Usually big meaning plays. And he's forcing that issue. I'm going to do this on my terms. I ain't playing for the field goal. I'm going to put the game away. It's under my control. If I get this first down, then it's mine. I'm in control of it. I'm playing it safe. I'm going to kick it to you and trust I'm not trusting anything. I ain't trusting anything. What's up, Chance? Good to see you, brother.
Say hello to my little friend.
But that may be a different situation for every team. That's just the way that the Lions are built. The Lions are built offense first. That's why he goes for it more. Because you're wanting your offense to do that work. What are you doing when you're going for it on fourth down? You're trusting your offense. You're trusting the strength of your team. If you're just going for it to play the percentages, we can talk about whether that's a mistake or not. But it's in the DNA. And I love that. And I love the way that he just broke that down right there too. Come on, Dan. Talk about it.
Running quarterbacks. Do you buy that, or does everybody struggle against running quarterbacks?
Do you buy that? Are you buying them win games?
Lions defense over the years has struggled against running quarterbacks. Do you buy that, or does everybody struggle against running quarterbacks?
Do you buy that? Are you buying that?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not supposed to buy it.
No. I know this. Running quarterbacks are hard. They're hard to defend, and it's like somebody tells you that we don't handle running quarterbacks very well. Well, tell me the team that does. Give me the next team. All right. So now you're working for whoever. I don't care who they are. And I'm not going to name a team because then somebody will come back and say, why did you name that team? But if you're on that team, you'd be like, we don't handle running quarterbacks that well. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of when you're trying to deal with Lamar and you're trying to deal with a guy like this over there and Josh Allen, and it's a lot of teams that struggle against those guys. They're not easy to stop, and there's a reason for that. So look, we know we got our hands full, but we're going to have a plan in place. AG is going to have a hell of a plan. Our guys are going to execute it, and you know what? He may make a run. He may pop a run or two. That's just the nature of the game and the way that some of these guys are able to maneuver, but that doesn't mean that you win the game.
Very rare. In the history of the NFL, rookie quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs, there's only a couple that have done it. How hard is that, just given the magnitude, the stage of this for rookie quarterbacks to do that? And B, is it about the running? Is it about his maturity? Why do you think that he's able to sort of bridge that?
Well, look, I think Cliff's done a good job with him, and with the scheme that they're running, I think it really fits him well. But yet they're also, it's not just about him, it's about the other weapons that they do have. And I think that all meshes well together. And I think they don't ask him to do everything. I think the scheme they have, he does a good job with it. I think he can get himself out of trouble. I think this whole line plays hard. They don't just live in the read run or RPO. They've got some gap scheme, so there's some attitude there. There's cutting the defense type runs. So it's kind of all been meshed together well. And so I think by doing that, you alleviate a lot of pressure off of him. And when he has that ability, and and you don't put everything on him, then he'll make plays for you, you know, and he's been able to do that. And I think he does stay composed and he doesn't get frazzled. So I think there's, you know, that's a credit to him, but it's really a credit to the coaches too and the players that are around him. I think they do a good job of spreading the load, actually.
Checking with Ben and Aaron to ask how their interviews went over the weekend. I guess from that perspective, do you get regular updates on that kind of stuff?
Why would I want to know that? You think I want him to leave?
But I'm just curious, on that note, do they give you like periodic updates? You check in, or how's that work?
Yeah, I've got an idea how they're doing. I have not run in there and asked if they're leaving yet. I didn't do that, but some point today I'll talk to them about, you know, what transpired yesterday. Right now I'm just trying to get ready for Washington. Yep.
Top six rushing offenses in the NFL made the playoffs. Can you speak to the
Say that one more time.
top six rushing offenses made the playoffs this year? I mean, can you speak to the level of investment you made in the running game and how it paid dividends this time of year? So,
Well, I think it's just another. I know for me personally, for us, I think I just believe that's where everything starts. I know it starts for us that way, and I think it creates an attitude. I think it creates a style. I think it creates a scheme of everything. Kind of works off of that, I guess, is what you should say there. At least for us, that's where it begins. And then it just takes a lot of pressure off of other players. You know, I think it takes pressure off your quarterback. If you can run it, now you play action pass off of the same or similar type of schemes, you open up windows. It helps your receivers separate. Now they still got to beat the corner, but everything underneath is open, right? And when you have a guy who's as accurate as our guy is, the passer that our guy is, then and receivers that can get open like St. Brown and J-Mo and these guys, then, I mean, that's pure gasoline, right? So that's why you do it. You're just trying to, I think, master your strengths, you know? So it makes sense. You know, it's hard to pass in this league, especially if everybody in the arena knows that you're passing. Every defense knows that you're passing. They just pin their ears back. I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, the Lions have the right guys to block all of this stuff, right? The things that he's talking about, you know, having the run game, the top running offenses are a lot of those teams are in the playoffs, and that's because that style translates in this time of year. You have to have a running game that's going to last. I mean, part of the reason that it doesn't last, just like a Josh Jacobs type of thing, those type of players are going to wear down eventually if you're going to use bell cows. That's why you see a lot of these teams using two running backs. But you got to be able to run to set up the pass. And if you make them one-dimensional, which I believe that's what they're going to do with Jaden Daniels. I mean, he is electric. He is electric. He can do the run and pass thing, but I think that the Lions are going to do what they do on the ground. They're going to stop the run, and then they're going to make Jaden Daniels beat him with his arms. And we can have an arms battle. And they don't stop the run very well. So our run pass thing, I think it's going to be working pretty good. I think it's going to be a fun game on offense. I can't see them all of a sudden just being able to, them being the ones being able to stop our offense. So get ready for the track meet that may be a one-sided track meet, because we get a couple turnovers on Jaden, force him into a couple mistakes. That's how our defense is going to play. We're going to attack him in a way to try to force him into making a mistake. and we get a couple possessions ahead. That's what I think it's going to be right there. But yeah, the run game translates into the playoffs, and that's why the villain here has a lot of confidence in what we can do in the playoffs this year.
Also, I mean, it seems obviously this time of year that becomes even.
Certainly to possess the ball. Certainly to possess the ball is big. That's what Washington does a good job of. Watched them last night. I mean, they possessed the ball. They finished the game out. You know, they were able to do that, get first downs, and so that's, you know, that's big. And to be able to run the ball is what helps you do that. So, yeah, that's a big part of it.
Daniel's mobility is reflective, I think, of probably an evolution in football. I'd say all four of the first-round quarterbacks that are having an impact this year are, you know, dual threats in their own way. So how much have you, AG, and Brad kind of worked to build a defense that counters that with the big ends, the athletic linebackers, and secondary that tackles?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something you always think about. You know, you got to be able to corral these guys up, but I think there's a discipline to it too. You know, look, the better your athletes are on defense, the better suited you are to contain mobile quarterbacks. But yet there's a discipline that's got to go with it too. I mean, you can't rush. You can't rush these guys the same as you do somebody that is just a pure pocket passer. You have to be much more disciplined, and it's a lot harder. I mean, you really do. You have to stay in your gap. You got to close down. You got to just continue to push. You can't take an edge. You can't, like that. That takes an enormous amount of discipline in it, and the toll it takes on you physically in a game. I mean, you're talking about running. You know, that's like all you guys that have run the quarter in high school. You run 400 or the 800, or that's what that's like. You know, like it's an all-out, legs burning, get ready to throw up. You know, like you got to do that every time, keep him corralled. And no different than the guys who got to cover. You may have to cover for 6 seconds, 7 seconds. That's the problem these guys create. They do. So, but it doesn't mean it's easy, but it doesn't mean that it's not doable. It is doable.
They ran the 400.
Oh, I know somebody did. Some of you guys, I know you had to have. Nobody even raised their hand. Somebody did. All right.
That's head coach Dan Campbell right there, doing his thing right there. And the problems of facing a running quarterback, you know, you have to get them out of their game. And sometimes that isn't easy, right? The Lions actually have some experience at facing some quarterbacks that are pretty mobile. You know, as much as we make fun of Caleb Williams, you know, for being on a sorry franchise, the kid's got some skills. He is very mobile. And the Lions did a better job at containing him in the second game. And I think that they have experience that, and I think they can learn a lot from the Josh Allen game. Guys all running around all over the place. You got to be able to contain these guys and keep them in the pocket. Remain the gap discipline, right? You know, you may not be faster than Jaden Daniels, but you got to make sure that he doesn't get edges on you. Know when to attack. Get him to get rid of the ball early. Maybe press him into a box. Do what they did to Kyler Murray. Because that's what they did. They put Kyler Murray into a box. But that was with Aiden Hutchinson on there. So we'll have to see. But I think that the problems that the Lions may have against Jaden Daniels on offense, that's not the real question to me in the game. I mean, if you want to be worried about this game, as a Lion fan. You can be. But the Lions are who they are. They're the 1 seed. They're the 1 seed for a reason. And this is the Washington Commanders. It's a great story for this year. Rookie quarterback, it's already ended well. Even if they get truck sticked in this game by the Lions, the Commanders are going to get to go home, feel good about Jaden Daniels and their future, going into the draft with a bunch of money, working out. That's a complete story already when it comes with that. The Lions, we're ferocious. We're ferocious. You're going to want to be in Ford Field until you get to Ford Field. And realize that our Warriors just locked the door on the way in. Are you sure? Are you sure you want some of this? Are you sure that you want to face this team? As heartbroken as they were last year, you don't know what heartbreak was, Commanders. We're going to take this out on you. Are you sure you want some of this? Because when I look at this game, I'm not answering questions. We've been over this. I'm not answering questions in this game. You answer questions. I think we have a better chance of stopping your offense than you have of stopping ours. I think our defense is good enough to force them into a couple of mistakes. Probably give away a couple big plays too. But force them into a couple of mistakes, I think that's doable. With the 30th ranked run defense, do I think that you're going to force us into mistakes? No. I think Jared Goff's going to put you into a pretzel and put you into a trick bag. If you zig, we'll zag. If you zag, we'll zig. On offense, you have no answers to the questions that our offense present. You don't have answers. Lions defense has some answers for you in your offense. We got Kirby. We got Branch. We got some playmakers back there that can make some plays on defense. And I'm not saying that you don't, but our offense is special. We'll go up against the best defenses and light them up. So, if you want to chat it up, you want to say that you want a piece of the Lions, well, you may regret that decision. We got a hungry team. I can't see this team faltering to the Commanders. You ain't the ones. You ain't the ones. Bring on Stafford. Bring on Hurts. Bring on Daniels. We're ready. We're ready as fans. We're better than all three of those teams. I don't care which one it is. You think that Philadelphia team that was playing against the Eagles, that team ain't beating this Lions team. You got, I am very happy to be here, Commanders. We ain't happy to be here. These guys just went to work all week. It takes more. Lions are in the den. And it takes more. And that's not just a moniker for our team. I'm looking at your team. You think you're going to beat this team? It's going to take more than you think it's going to take. We got too many hungry players on our team that would just will this team to victory. When I think of a guy like Penei Sewell, and Frank the Tank. I mean, you want to know why Ben Johnson isn't going to leave? I mean, you can talk all the talk that you want. Tell me I'm crazy or whatever. I don't give a shit. Ben Johnson's not leaving. I feel like Aaron Glenn's going to leave, but Ben Johnson isn't going to leave. And you know why he isn't going to leave? Because Jared Goff, because Jahmyr Gibbs, because Frank the Tank, Penei Sewell, he has a shot. This is legacy right here. I mean, I understand the head coaching dream, and that dream ain't going nowhere. What, you think him wielding the greatest offense of all time for the next 3 years is going to hurt his chances of being a head coach? He's like 20. I mean, he is a young coach. So Ben Johnson not taking a head coaching job, this isn't rocket science here. It's not like if he doesn't take the Raiders job, they might offer him $100 gajillion a year. Yeah, but he won't have Jahmyr Gibbs. He won't have Jared Goff. He won't have any of the guys. He might bring a couple guys with him over there. But I don't think Ben Johnson's going anywhere. I think he loves Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to take a head coaching job someday. But I'm saying that he's learning a lot by staying right where he's at. Because Dan Campbell's doing it right. Brad Holmes is doing it right. So there's no better way to learn, how to build a culture, how to build a franchise. It's way more than just X and O's. And he's got that part down. The X's and the O's. Ben Johnson's brilliant. Get that. But when I think of guys in the will, like Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow, he's not going to have that. You don't just get to have the best left tackle or right tackle in the game. You don't just get to have that on every team. That's what Ben Johnson's thinking about. Forget the money. The guy's rich. He knows that. He's comfortable. His family likes it in Michigan. When you're wealthy and smart, the money isn't, you're not looking at it the same anymore. I understand sometimes a lot of the players came from nothing. And when they're trying to set up their contracts, they're trying to set themselves up for the rest of their lives. And not everybody gets $50 million a year. So, Ben Johnson, from now, and whether he takes a job this year, next year, 2 years from now, there's a blank check. There's a blank check sitting out there waiting for him. Wherever he wants to go. And the only way that it wouldn't end up that way is if all of a sudden this legendary offense just fell off, and it's not going to. Offensive line is going to be dominant. The running game is dominant. We got wide receivers dominant. All these guys are signed. I don't even have to worry about it this year. In 2026, they can restructure so many contracts they can free up $150 million. So you're worried about the future too? The only reason that you would ever not want to restructure players is if they're not going to be worth the money. And fortunately, we have 3 players that I think that are top 3 at their position. Let's go. You got Jared Goff. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Penei Sewell and got these guys locked up. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're not even going to have to think about paying until not this offseason, don't offseason after that. It looks good here. Dwayne says that we can't take this team lightly, but we got to be focused and play hard on both sides of the ball. Nobody's taking this team lightly. You think Dan Campbell's taking his team lightly, Dwayne? Don't mistake my confidence up here with like me not understanding that the Commanders are a real football team. I think they are. I think they're a really, really good football team. I think my team's the best in the world. So I'm not going to take the team lightly, but they got to answer the damn questions, not us. How are you going to stop Jaden Daniels? We will. What we're going to do is we're going to suffocate the run, and we're going to make him throw from the pocket. He's going to hang, he's going to fall off, and the Lions are going to win by double digits. The question comes from, what are you going to do about our offense? You can't stop our offense. We can stop yours. So you answer the questions, Commanders. That's what I say, Dwayne. That's what I say, Dwayne. So, well, I appreciate everybody for jumping on today, being part of it. I'm glad that we got to watch that press conference. I think there's another one tomorrow morning, whenever they come out. And I want to be able to watch them with you. And I know that you guys can just go to YouTube and watch it, but I like to experience it live, and I like to experience it with a live crowd. And I appreciate the live crowd here. We had over 5,000 people that looked at yesterday's episode of Villain Report. But I always appreciate the people that will come on live. You know, shout out to the everyday people like Dwayne and Adam and Brian and the Central Scrutinizer, Mark G, Brian Stover. That's right. Paul Jones, Elise Memes, Mike Fisher, Broski Bear. Appreciate that. It makes it better when you guys are engaging in there. But this is the Lion Villain Report. You can catch me every day at 10 a.m. Brought to you by NFL Shop. Scan the code to get up to 25% off of your order. Doing it. Washington. The Commanders versus the Lions in Ford Field. You wanted that smoke? Well, you got it. You called down the thunder? Well, you got it now. We're going to be ready. Shout out to the Huddle Sports Network over there with Bill the Packer fan. The Huddle Sports Network group. That's trash talking at its finest. Get some thick skin and go join the Huddle Sports Network group. Right now is a good time to join because you can just go in there and run your mouth as a Lion fan, and then you can listen to all the Packer fans and the Viking fans and the Bear fans all crying. The Packer fans all showing pictures of their past trophies. But we used to be good when we had Aaron Rodgers. The Viking fans going, well, shut up, you guys. Yeah, whatever. We're going to be back next year. We have the most division titles. The Bears. We won a Super Bowl. When's the last time you won a Super Bowl? And it's just like, does that really numb your pain? Packer fan, Bear fan, Viking, does that numb your pain? Like you throw that little dig in there, like it matters anymore, like we haven't heard it before. You're not like it doesn't hurt our feelings because what I really see in that is you trying to cope with your pain. You know, you take your little Kleenex out. You got to dry your tears a little bit right there and face the reality that my team is better than your team. And it's going to continue to be better than your team. And there's nothing you can do about it other than put your face into your Kleenex tears, dry them up again, and hopefully you can get second place next year. But the Lions got a football game to play this weekend. They got to take care of business. They're 60 minutes away from hosting the NFC Championship for the first time ever. Commanders, you think that you're going to stop that? You think you're going to stop Penei Sewell? We have legends on our team right now that are just now writing their legend story. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He came in as a fourth-round draft pick, catching the balls off of the machine because he wasn't drafted. Remembering all the wide receivers, that's legendary. Penei Sewell, I mean, he's going to be the most appreciated, underappreciated guy. Like, you couldn't appreciate him enough. Ben Johnson needs to send Penei Sewell a thank you card when he gets his new job. Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff should share his salary with Penei Sewell. Like, this guy is just a legend, and it's just getting started. The Commanders, you think you're stopping that? You think you're going to stop Jahmyr Gibbs? You think you're going to stop David Montgomery? You haven't stopped anybody. This is the Lions' time. Going to host an NFC Championship game. I can feel it. And you know what? I'll eat my crow if it's not that way, but I have the confidence. And I'm sticking with the confidence. I'm staying with it. We got a Facebook page, Lion Villain Squad on Facebook. Follow that page. We got over 60,000 followers, and Leon Phelps is going to take us all the way to 70,000, okay? The Villain Squad is on YouTube. Please go over there and take the time. If you're not too busy right now, take the time, go over, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. We're trying to build that up too. And we'd love to have you over there. That one seems to fail less than the YouTube. I like that.
You like that?
And like I said, the Huddle Sports Network with Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan. You got over 30 podcasts on there covering the entire NFC North. There's even wrestling podcasts on there. Doing a great job. And thank you for that. Oh, hell yeah. It's a Lions Villain Report. It's a show about football. You should watch it. It's in the morning, 10 a.m. Could be good for you. Could be good for you. Could be good for your life. Support the UDFA of sports podcasting. That's us. We may not be the best podcast out there, but we're going to grind our way until we are. Liking, sharing, and commenting, that helps our little algorithm. And we appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. Thank you to the Detroit Lions News Podcast for allowing us to broadcast onto their 80,000 person network page right there. If you own a business and you live in the state of Michigan, love these Lion fans, love the Lions, you want to partner with the Villain Squad, be guilty by association, get a hold of Main Event Mike, 810-620-2167, and find out how you can harness the power of the villain. It's faith, family, and then football. We use football to spend time with our family, create memories. We don't let football use us. I want to thank everybody for jumping on the live today. I want to thank everybody that watches us on the replay for tomorrow for the Lion Villain Report. I am Russell Wayne. I am your fearless host. And you guys have a great day. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. I had fun today. Tomorrow's going to be the Hump Day preview. That's why I didn't get into a ton of that. I'm actually going to go over some of the year-end PFF scores on tomorrow's game to kind of review the game going into it a little bit on the Hump Day preview. But God bless you guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we winning it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.